Hello dear children, welcome you all back to our class. And this day we are dealing with a new poem from your textbook, Beehive. And the name of the poem is Legend of Northland. And in this A Legend of Northland, this poem was written by Phoebe Cary. She was born in 1824 on September 4 and died in the year 1871 on July 31. She was an American poetess and she was considered to be the youngest sister of poetess Alice Cary. And both these sisters, they co-published the poems in 1849 and then afterwards each went on to publish volumes of their own. And after their death in 1871, joint anthologies of the sisters' unpublished poems were also compiled. Okay, this is all about Phoebe Cary. And in this, she was highlighting the poem A Legend of the Northland. She was highlighting disciple of Jesus Christ, which was mentioned in the Bible. It's Saint Peter. And as you all know that Saint Peter is a character from the Bible. And he is one among the character and the disciple that you can see in the Bible. Among the 12 disciples, he was also very earnest and faithful to God. And so it was believed that he has got the miraculous power of God. So he went on from place to place preaching the gospel of God. And we see that the poetess was trying to portray the need and importance of charity and also the importance of sharing things with others throughout this poem. And along with that, she was trying to highlight the after effect or the consequence if one is not ready to have charity and the mentality of sharing things. If they are not following these qualities in life, the after effects or the consequence was also highlighted by presenting a character, Saint Peter, as well as a lady in this story. And also we see that the intention of writing this A Legend of Northland is the poetess was trying to teach us a lesson, presenting Saint Peter and his miraculous power. Okay? Even though this story was not meant to be true, but still then, we need to be kind, we need to be helpful, we need to have the mentality of sharing things, we need to consider the weak and the starving people among us. That importance is highlighted throughout this poem. Otherwise, the meaning of being a human being is not good for us to decorate in our life. That was also just portrayed through the poem A Legend of Northland. And once we see that a legend, what is the meaning of legend? A legend means it's a very old story from ancient time. And this legend may be true or may not be true. Okay? But here we see that this legend that one people tell about a famous event or a person. So here the legend is said to be the story of Saint Peter. The story that is mentioned in the poem may be true or may not be true. As far as we go through the poem, as far as we are just standing in the side of the poetess, we see that it may not be true. But the person, Saint Peter, is true. Okay? So, the legend is a very old story from ancient time onwards. But the story that is mentioned in this poem may not be true. Okay? And we see that this poem just teaches a lesson that tells the story of Northland. And as we go through the poem, we see that the genre of this poem is ballad. What is ballad? Ballad is a song narrating a story in short stanzas. Okay? And also we see that these ballads are a part of folk culture or popular culture and are passed orally from one generation to the next. So, this ballad can be also called as a dance song. It's a song narrating a story in verse, V-E-R-S-E. That is a ballad. So, this A Legend of the Northland is said to be a ballad that is passed from one generation to other. The intention of this ballad is to make people understand the importance of charity and sharing things among each other. To consider all the people in our society, or to understand the need and necessity for being generous in our life is also highlighted throughout this ballad. Okay? Then, as we go through the poem, before that we need to have an introduction. This story, even though it's a poem, as we told that it's a ballad, just narrating a story in verse, this story just goes on telling about an old greedy woman who anchored at St. Peter, and because of that, the after effect is she was turned into a woodpecker because of her greed. The St. Peter just cursed, and with his miraculous power turned this greedy old woman to a woodpecker. It's only because of her greed, and the poet herself says that she doesn't believe whether the story is true or not. But actually, even though the story is not true, but it conveys a great message. Okay? How we need to be in our life is indirectly told throughout the story. Saint Peter is a disciple of God. He has got miraculous power from God, but still then he might not have used his power to change a lady from being a human to a woodpecker. That's one of the reasons why the poet says that I don't believe. But it highlights the importance of being kindness and also to have shared charity in our life. That quality is needed as a human being. Otherwise, our life will also come to such a pathetic situation. That's the point what the poetess was trying to highlight through the poem Legend of the Northland. Okay? So, just go through the poem. At this very beginning, I hope we can just deal with the first 3 stanzas of the poem. So, the poem here goes like this, A Legend of the Northland. Okay? And also we see that as we told, being a ballad, it is just telling a story in short stanzas. And here we see that the stanzas are of 4 lines. Apart from the folk or popular culture, here we see that it comprises of traditional stories also. Okay? One of the traditional stories can be also a ballad. And now the poem goes like this. Away, away in the Northland, where the hours of the day are few and the nights are so long in winter that they cannot sleep them through. So in the first stanza, we see that already we have said that this poem is a ballad or it's a story. And it's just story just talks about a far, far place in Northland. And where is this Northland? Northland is a place in Northern Pole, and this Northland is a cold region also. It's in the North Pole, so definitely the percentage of sunlight that is reaching there is very less. Okay? And regions like the places like Greenland, Northern Europe and Siberia lies in this North Pole. And the story just says or mentions only about North Pole. Okay? And as the sun rays reach less in this place, the days are very short. And ultimately what will happen? The nights are longer. So what will happen? When the nights are longer, it's very difficult for the people who stay in this North Pole to sleep all throughout the night. What will they do? After sleeping some hours, they'll just wake up. When they wake up, still they experience what? Darkness around them. Because what is the reason? The nights are long. It's too long. So they sleep only very less. This is some of the important things that you can see about Northland. Northland that lies in the North Pole of the equator, where the sun rays reaches very less. So the places is said to be very cold. Okay, snowfall is there. And the people are just, you know how the people in this Greenland and Northern Europe, Germany, they all just put their, how their dress code is like. And also the snowfall always, and also the days are very short. The nights are longer, but they cannot sleep all nights as the night is too long. After a few hours of sleep, they wake up. Okay, this is something that you need to know about the Northland. So as an introduction, the poet was just trying to give a glimpse of the Northland. Then the next 4 lines says that where they harness the swift reindeer to the sledges when it snows, and the children looks like bear's cub in the funny furry clothes. So now already you have got a glimpse of the Northland. What is the season? What is the climate? How everywhere seems to be like was said in the first 4 lines. And the next 4 lines says that yes, in this region, as the nights are longer and the days are shorter, it's very hard for the people to stay all throughout the night, and they wake up after some time. Okay. Then what we see here, where they harness the swift reindeer to the sledges. What is it? What do you mean by sledges? Sledges is a vehicle on runners for conveying load or passengers over ice or snow. Okay, you can see the picture of a sledge here. Sledge can be used on snowfall regions. It's a vehicle for carrying loads. Loads means what? Goods or things. And also to carry people. And it was run by what? By reindeer. Okay, reindeer is an animal. And we see that these reindeers are seen in these regions, in this cold region. And when the snow falls, what will happen? People will tie this, they harness the swift. Harness means what? Harness means to tie reindeers with a rope. See, the vehicle and the animal is attached with a rope. That rope is called what? Harness. Okay. So during snowfall time, these reindeers were tied with the harness that is attached to the vehicle. And what they will do? They go for sledging. What is sledging? Sledging, already we have known that. We have seen that it's a vehicle that is moved on the snowfall. So it's just like an entertainment. They go on just enjoying what? Sledging. Okay, when the snow falls, people here tie reindeers to their sledges, to their vehicles to go for what? Sledging. Okay, just for having entertainment. See how these children are enjoying sledging when we are sledging in the snow falls. Okay, and also the poet says that when it snows and the children look like bear's cub. What is that? The young one of bear. Okay. So it says that when it's heavily snowfall is there in this cold region, these children are wearing the dress or clothes, woolen clothes, heavy woolen clothes that cover them up fully. Only their face can be seen. All other parts of the body are fully covered with what? Woolen dresses. Okay. Especially fur coat. Fur coat means what? Fur coat is using the skin of, or is it soft skin of the goat and all. Sweaters likewise. So all these things are covered up the body in order to protect themselves from where? In order to protect themselves from the cold atmosphere. So all together, after filling their body or putting up all these dresses, they look like what? A small young one of a bear. Okay. And they look like wise because of having fur coat with the skin of having sheep and all. And that's why the poetess says like they are fun to see, which is like the furry skin of a bear. Okay, and this is how they enjoy the cold season and the snowfall in this Northland. So now I hope that you have got a very good idea about Northland. Northland is a place in North Pole. It's heavily cold all over the places over there. And also we see that the nights are longer, the days are very short. And during snowfall, they just tie the reindeers, these reindeers to their sledges, and they go for sledging. And the children in that place look like the young ones of bear because they are wearing furry coats. Okay, and also it seems very funny to see them, the young ones of a bear. Then the next 4 lines is that they tell them a curious story. I don't believe it's true, and yet you may learn a lesson if I tell the tale to you. Now the poet says that there is a legend in Northland all the people in this Northland have got a legend, a story that is being passed from the ancient time onwards. Okay, there is a legend of story in Northland. About whom? About Saint Peter. And the poetess says that I don't know whether it is true. I don't believe it's true. Because the Saint Peter, even though is a disciple of God and has got miraculous power, but she doesn't believe that whatever said in the story might have happened. But anyhow, it conveys a message. And she says that let me also pass on this message to you. Let me also convey this tale. Tale means a story. Okay, that I heard from the place Northland. Okay, so there is a story that is passed from one generation to other generation, a legend in Northland. I also wanted to tell this story about something that happened in this Northland that is being conveyed from generation to generation. And also she specifically says that she was not sure whether the story is true or not, yet she wanted to tell the story to impart a valuable lesson. Okay, so I hope we can stop here for today and we can continue the rest of what the real legend of Northland is all about in the next class. Okay, and now what was the intention of the poetess in telling the story? Telling the story even though she knows that it's not true. What was the intention? Okay, thank you all. Have a great day. God bless you.